Hey everybody, welcome back to Adventure Cruiser. I put out a video a couple of months ago about using one of these with a Surefire Sonic EP Ear Pro so that I can hear my radio while sowing freedom seeds. But I had some questions about what this Bluetooth device is, what it does, and how to use it. So let's dive into that. First of all, this is the Motorola NNTN8143. And this is their Motorola Bluetooth PTT adapter. This has the opportunity to connect to lots of different really cool headsets. This is more of the standard. They come in two configurations with this earpiece on there and an inline microphone, one coiled, one straight. I have both. I will say the downside to this is a very sensitive microphone, and it was picking up conversations of people 15, 20 feet away. This is more often than not the microphone that you will get with your Bluetooth setup. There is a little windsock that connects around the microphone here to block out some of the ambient noise, and this little flower-shaped device goes inside your ear canal with this stringy little thingy holding it down to your ear. I found this stringy thing very uncomfortable, and I have not used it since I tried it, but maybe it has a purpose. Who knows? Then you get into some really cool things. This plugs into here. This part goes around your neck. This little microphone goes either on your lapel or up your sleeve. And then this guy goes in your ear. It's made to fit almost all ears, so since it's a will fit all type of arrangement, it fits none perfectly well. But the cool thing is when you put it in, all you see is that little itty bit of monofilament hanging out of your ear. It does work really well in high covert areas. I will say though that in a noisy environment like a crowd, it is harder to hear from this, and it feels like the speaker is just really overmodulating, trying to get enough volume out to make my broken ears hear it. Still, if you want to be covert, this is the way to go, because with this under your shirt around your neck, this up your sleeve or on your lapel, nobody really knows you've got a radio on. These are pretty cool. They're back ordered right now. It took me, I think, 5 months to get mine because I was just curious. I just wanted to play with it. It does come with a kit of random assorted accessories, and it is made by Phonak. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then Motorola makes the adapters that fit the Motorola radios. So pretty cool setup overall, but you know, again, it has its limitations. I wouldn't use it in an everyday application if I didn't have to, and I don't. More often than not, as I said, I'm gonna be using a real basic microphone like this. Now again, this one's extra sensitive. This windsock here kind of breaks up some of the ambient noise, so you're just hearing the voice. Actually, now that I think about it, I took this headset with me off-roading in Moab a number of years ago, and I could have this on my ear and it would block out all the motor noise and my guys could hear me pretty easily. So that was a win. But what I typically use is something like this. This is, again, a Motorola part, and it's a NNTN smeared off. But you can take a pair of Apple earphones or Samsung earphones or anything that has the TRRL style and put them on here. And now you don't look like you're using an undercover radio. You just look like you're a troglodyte still using wired earphones. But you know, if you're trying to not look like a cop or security or something like that, you don't mind looking like a troglodyte, this is the thing to do. Unfortunately, you have to put this in your right ear if you are a Apple earphone user because the microphone is on the right ear. But again, not the end of the world, even though I like using my left ear. One of the challenges with this setup is if you like using this coil earpiece style, I have not yet found an adapter that allows you to use this with this Bluetooth. So you are kind of limited to these here. Now, I did go out on a limb and I made an adapter that goes from this TRRL style to a off-road style helmet. and it works, but it needs to be amplified and all that to get over the noise, so it's not a great fit. But it did work, so that was a plus. When you get this, there is a little bit of setup the first time you connect it to your radio. And I'm not gonna lie, the MotoTurbo is much more difficult to connect this to than the APX. This is an APX 8000, but the same is true for a 7000 or 6000 as long as they all have Bluetooth enabled. And that's important. Everything has to have Bluetooth enabled from the factory in order for these to work. And then what you may need to do in your CPS is enable Bluetooth and assign it to a menu or a button. Some guys use the emergency button as their Bluetooth thing. I prefer to just leave it as a menu item. So let's go ahead and pair this one. I am going to be the proper troglodyte, and I am going to tell you everything that I'm hearing through this rather than trying to find a way to connect this to the microphone, because I don't want to put the time into that right now. So, initial pairing starts like this. Press and hold the PTT and the power button. After 10 seconds, you will hear Motorola Solutions, pairing cleared, searching for host. Then I arrow over to Bluetooth, turn that down a little bit, and I'm going to go down to search device, list, no devices, search. And it is going to find every Bluetooth device near me, and not the headset. I have noticed sometimes it does work better to pair these when the headset is like 12 inches or more away. And I'm sure one of you smarter guys can tell me why that's the case. But it's not working. So I want to show you when these things don't work, what to do. So now I hit back, search devices again, list, search. And sometimes this takes a couple of attempts in order to work. And just through my ear, I just heard searching for host again. I'm turning the Bluetooth off and back on again. Believe it or not, this still is easier than on a MotoTurbo. So I reset the Bluetooth, scrolling down to search devices, okay? Hit list, no devices, search, and now it is searching. Tells me my available devices. And what you will see is an OCW headset. Come on. Okay, now if you go back a menu, you can go to devices, select, and it will tell you. Now, where is it? There we go. See how it says OCW headset? That's what you want to look for. That's how you know it's connecting to one of these. Now, some Motorola devices claim that they have the opportunity to have you touch this blue button here to this thing, and that's supposed to pair it instantly. I've had that really hit or miss. Sometimes it works great, but right now it's not working. So it's connected. Now, I'm exiting out of there. Now, if you can see, look in that upper corner there. I'm going to push the PTT here, and it is transmitting right there. See that? And the same is true for receive. And I'll hear everything in my headset. Right now I have it set to only transmit audio through the Bluetooth and only the microphone through the Bluetooth. In your CPS, you can configure it to do a microphone through here as well. The nice thing is I can transmit by pushing this PTT or this PTT, and it uses this microphone. That's pretty nice. In order to control the volume here, I can control it here or here. I like that. Another feature that this has is a micro USB where you charge it in the bottom. And this hole here is where your red light is going to flash and then turn to green when it is charged. One feature I don't like about this is it does not tell you how full the battery is until it goes dead. I presume that their concept is you leave it on a charger, you use it when you need it, and then when the battery starts going down, you get the very typical Motorola noise. And then you get an alert every 2 minutes for 30 minutes, and then it shuts down. So it does give you some time, but it's still kind of a pain in the rear. If you need a slimmer form factor, you can take this guy off right here by rotating it and then lifting up that clip, and then it slides out of the way. So that's how you connect it to an APX. Let's connect it to a MotoTurbo XPR 7550E. So I am going to prepare it to a new radio by powering it off. Then I am going to, again, because I'm pairing it to a new device, press the PTT. Actually, we're gonna back up. I'm gonna show you how simple this is first. I'm turning off the radio, turning off the headset, turning on the radio, turning on the headset. And it says Motorola Solutions reconnecting. Give it a second, or like 15 seconds. So you know in those movies where they have jump cuts and you spot something that just wasn't there before they did the cut? There is none of that here. We do not swap items in and out of scene. It is the same radio. Okay, so I was having issues with one of the radios and gave up for the sake of time. Sorry. Here we are, 8,000 again. I've already paired it to the Bluetooth, but what I wanted to show you is that I am going to turn the Bluetooth off, and it's going to tell me the headset was disconnected. I'm going to turn the radio off, turn it back on. Now it is already paired to this. It knows to look for this. So I'm turning it on, and it is going to give me a warning saying there's no headset. And under normal circumstances, if you turn this on at the same time as the radio, they will automatically connect. See, OCW headset connection failed. So I'm going to turn this guy on. Turn it on, it says Motorola Solutions reconnecting. Boom. Now it works. So that is one of the cool features about this. You pair it once to your radio, and then when you cycle the power on your radio or this device, they will reconnect. Pretty cool. If for some reason you are unsuccessful at getting it to connect to your radio, what I suggest you do is go to Bluetooth, Devices, and hit Clear. And that will delete the device, and then you can go back through the menu and find it again. You may also want to do a power cycle on this where you press and hold the PTT and the power button. So let's go ahead and now pair this to a MotoTurbo XPR. This is a XPR 7550E, and again, this has Bluetooth enabled from the factory. I think it's important that you double check the feature set of your radio before you go there. So what I do is I hit the menu button, or OK here, scroll down to Bluetooth, select My Status, turn it on. Then I go back, Devices, OK, Find Device, OK. Now I press the PTT and the power button, turning this on and putting it in pairing mode. And I hear Motorola Solution, pairing cleared, searching for host. Now, this is not a perfect process. And I've really struggled sometimes to get these two to talk. Sometimes it's because they're too close. Sometimes they're too far. Sometimes the phase of the moon is wrong. Sometimes they just don't want to play nice. And in that case, I power cycle everything and we start over. See, this one still says finding, and it's not finding anything. So I'm wondering if there's something else. Finding me, don't know what that does. Status, I'm going to turn Bluetooth off and back on again. Again, the APX line has this figured out where it really works well together. The XPR, it's kind of an afterthought. Okay, Bluetooth is on. Devices. Find devices. Everybody has vices. It's just a matter of finding them. In my ear, I'm hearing searching for host. And this thing still says finding. In theory, the SL300 has Bluetooth, and in CPS you can turn Bluetooth on and then use one of these hot buttons as your pairing key. I have not gotten that to work, nor do I care to at the moment. I'm kind of struggling with this whole video about connecting Bluetooth, and part of me wants to start fresh and make it really simple. But the other part of me really wants to show you guys how challenging this really can be. So yeah, this might be another radio. See, short antenna, long antenna. It's not my favorite thing to go through menus over and over and over again and power cycle and go back. But the reality is that's kind of what it takes to get these to work when you're trying to go back and forth between setting it up with an XPR and an APX. But being honest with you guys, once it gets to work, it's really nice. So we're gonna go back through menu here. We're gonna go Bluetooth. We're gonna go to devices, find devices. Okay, so for some reason this one is working. Oh, look, there we go. OCW headset is what you want. I'm hitting OK. It says connecting to OCW headset. Does anybody understand what OCW stands for? I don't. Put it in the comments below, let me know. It says connecting now. Now it says headset connected. But here's the trick. I'm hearing what sounds like a phone ringing in my ear now. And this is the point where I always got with these things and figured, well, it was a nice idea and it doesn't work on this. Well, like any good engineer, I just started mashing buttons. And it turns out that when you hit the wrong button, it goes beep, 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 or beep, and doesn't work. If you hit the push to talk, it gives you a dual tone, and then like a bonk, and then it keeps ringing in your ear. Out of frustration, one day I pressed the power button, and then I heard headset connected, and I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense. But apparently that's what you do. So pair this by pressing the push to talk and the power, pairing cleared, connect it to your radio. Then when you hear the phone tones, the delete, 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 press this for 2 seconds and you'll hear headset connected. I think I discovered that on accident out of frustration by simply trying to turn it off. But there we go. And now I hear my talk permit tone through my ear whenever I push this. The nice thing again is whether I push this push to talk or this push to talk, it uses the microphone that's close to my face and the earphone that's in my ear. And I really like that part. So you get your volume here and your volume here, push to talk here, and your push to talk here, and they all work. When you power down the headset or the radio, it's a little bit different to reconnect them on these versus the APX line. The APX line knows to look for it. These, they don't. They're like, I'm a business radio. It's not that important. Doesn't matter. So I've just powered both of these on. It says it's reconnecting. It's powering up. It's going slowly. And now I go to connect to this. How do you like that? It just said headset connected. However, if it doesn't connect, then go OK, Bluetooth, devices, and then select your device, and then it'll reconnect. Guys, if one of you knows how to do this better than I do, please let me know. This is all me figuring it out on my own and making a big mess of it. But at least now you have a little bit of insight into how these work. The Bluetooth on Motorola's is weird. I cannot use, for instance, my Apple AirPods to connect to either one of these radios. I've heard guys on the internet be able to do it. I've not been able to. If you know how, let me know. The other thing that I really am frustrated about is this guy is the BKR 5000, has Bluetooth enabled, and it can't use this. And I just kind of wish they wouldn't be quite so proprietary with their Bluetooth stuff, but I mean, it's their business, they're allowed to. I just don't like it. It's also worth noting that I have successfully been able to connect this to my APX 8500 in my truck when I have the Wi-Fi antenna connected, because the Wi-Fi is also your GPS and your Bluetooth. But the Bluetooth feature must be enabled in the radio from the factory before you try and connect all of this. I then set a hot button on my deck, and I can use this if I wish to talk through my high power radio. Let's talk a little bit about where these came from initially. Motorola put out something called the COM port a number of years ago. And the COM port was a whole mess of wires. And they were a mess. But they were kind of innovative in that they had an earpiece and a microphone in one bit over your ear. And then that would go down through a coiled cable to a splitter. And then that splitter would come down here into a radio adapter with a threaded 3.5 millimeter plug. Then you would have this goofy push to talk to enable communication through your radio. One of the nice things about this is there is no Bluetooth to get frustrated over, and you can have multiple different connectors to enable you to use the headset as a wired headset to either the XTS and the APX. And there are a number of other radios that this works on too, but that was kind of nice. But this seems to be kind of the origin story for this Bluetooth connector. Now, unfortunately, I bought the origin story right before I saw all this stuff, and now I'm heavily invested in both. So that's what I got for you today, guys. The Bluetooth stuff can be really fun. It can work really well. It is frustrating. You do have to charge this thing fully before you go out for a day or even a couple of hours. It does not have a battery gauge on it. When the low battery alarm goes off, you have 30 minutes and it'll notify you every 2 minutes that your battery's dying. You do have a number of different features you can plug into here. Everything from a phone headset to an over-the-ear conventional style to a Covert with a lapel mic and an in-ear little hearing aid. And then you can get creative a little bit and do something like this. The reality is there are a lot of options. Not all of them work well. Some of them work better than others. I still like this device, but I would like a couple of things. One, I'd like to see a battery gauge on it somewhere, even if it's hidden down here. Maybe there is, and if you know it, please let me know. Two, I'd like to see an adapter to go from this to some sort of earpiece like this, or this to a Peltor Comtac style. That would be really nice. I don't see one existing yet. And lastly, be curious, guys. Be willing to explore, figure it out, make mistakes, and in the end, you're going to be frustrated but satisfied. That's all I got for you today. Have fun.